Picture this. You finally set up a VPN. You feel safe, you connect to a server in Japan, you check that your IP shows Tokyo, and you go about your browsing. A week later, a friend who works in networking asks you to run a quick leak test. You open a site like DNSleaktest.com, click the extended test, and your jaw drops. The IP looks Japanese, but the DNS servers listed underneath belong to your home internet provider, your ISP back home. Which means, despite the VPN, every single website you visited was still being whispered to your ISP. Every search, every subdomain, every late-night curiosity, they saw all of it. That, in a nutshell, is a DNS leak, and it is a lot more common than you think. Let me explain what is actually happening here. Every time you type a domain name, like youtube.com or yourbank.com, your device has to translate that name into an IP address. That translation is done by a DNS server. Think of DNS like the phone book of the internet. When you turn on a VPN, the goal is for both your traffic and your DNS lookups to travel through the encrypted tunnel. Encrypted in, encrypted out. Your ISP only sees noise. A DNS leak happens when the encrypted tunnel carries your web traffic, but your DNS lookups sneak out the side door. They go straight to your ISP's DNS server in plain text, untouched by the VPN. Your ISP cannot read the page contents, but they absolutely can read every domain you visit. And in many countries, ISPs log that data, sell it, hand it to advertisers, or share it on request. Your VPN was supposed to stop that. It did not. So why does this happen at all? 3 causes account for almost every leak I have seen. The first is just a sloppy VPN configuration. Some cheap or free VPN apps only route your web traffic. They do not force DNS through the tunnel. Your operating system keeps using the DNS it learned from your router, which points right back at your ISP. You get the false comfort of a new IP address while your DNS is wide open. The second is an IPv6 leak. Most VPNs were built to handle IPv4, the old internet protocol, but your home network, your phone, your laptop, they often speak IPv6 too. If the VPN does not block or tunnel IPv6, your device may quietly send IPv6 DNS queries outside the tunnel. You will not notice. Your VPN status icon still shows connected, but IPv6 DNS is going straight to your ISP. The third cause is sneakier and harder to fix. It is called a transparent DNS proxy. Some ISPs intercept any DNS traffic leaving your network, even if you set a custom DNS server like Google or Cloudflare. They redirect those lookups to their own servers without telling you. So even if your VPN is configured perfectly, the ISP grabs your DNS in transit. This is common in hotels, in airports, and with certain residential providers overseas in places like Turkey or Argentina. All right, that is the bad news. Now, the good news. Testing for a leak is genuinely easy. Here's the routine I run on every new VPN install. Step 1. Connect your VPN to a server far away. Pick somewhere obvious, like the UK or Brazil. Step 2. Open DNSleaktest.com and click the extended test. Wait for the results. You are looking at the DNS server list at the bottom. Every server listed should match the country you connected to, not your home country. If you see your ISP's name, like Comcast or BT or Rogers, that is a leak. Step 3. Open browserleaks.com/DNS. Same idea. Confirm the DNS hostname and the country. If both tools agree your DNS is leaving the tunnel, you have a problem. Step 4. Repeat the test on mobile data, on public Wi-Fi, and on your home network. Leaks can show up on one network and hide on another, especially the IPv6 kind. Now let us fix it. 4 defenses, ranked from easiest to most thorough. Easiest first. Open your VPN app's settings. Look for an option called something like Force DNS through Tunnel, Leak Protection, or Block IPv6. Turn all of those on. On many apps, these are off by default to save battery or simplify support. Flip them on, reconnect, run the test again. Half of leaks die right here. If your current VPN does not have those settings, or it still leaks after you flip them, move to Defense 2. Switch to a VPN that runs its own private DNS on every server. Not all do. Many resell other companies' DNS or hand off to Google. A real privacy-focused provider runs DNS in-house, so the lookups never leave their network. When the DNS lives on the same server as the VPN exit node, there is no path for your ISP to see anything. Defense 3. If you want belt and braces, configure your operating system or router to use encrypted DNS over HTTPS, also called DoH. Cloudflare's 1.1.1.1 and Quad9's 9.9.9.9 both offer this for free. With DoH, even if a transparent proxy tries to intercept your DNS, it cannot read or redirect it because the lookup itself is encrypted. Pair this with a VPN and you have 2 layers protecting your queries. Defense 4 is the easy button. Use a VPN that bakes private DNS, IPv6 blocking, and leak protection in by default on every server, with no toggles to remember. That is what Surfshark does. Their app forces all DNS into their own resolver on every connection, blocks IPv6 traffic that cannot be tunneled, and adds clean web on top to filter known tracker and malware domains. You install it, you connect, leak protection is already on. I tested it myself with the same DNS leak test extended scan, and the only DNS server that came back was Surfshark's in the country I picked. So here is the bottom line. A VPN that leaks DNS is not really protecting your privacy. It is just changing your IP. Your ISP, your network, anyone watching your DNS, they still see exactly where you go. It takes 2 minutes to test. It takes another 2 minutes to fix. Test your VPN right now. Open DNSLeakTest.com, run the extended test, and look at that DNS list. If you see your ISP's name, your VPN is lying to you. The link in the description below lets you try Surfshark for free. Private DNS on every server. No leaks, no surprises. Stay safe out there.